Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is a compilation of previous Dollar Tree wood DIYs. This is a wooden home sign and I'm staining it with some Varathane gel stain and golden oak, and then I'm going to paint the home word with some Spanish moss chalk paint, and then I have some greenery and some flowers from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue them to the top of the sign. And you can choose any colour stain or paint that you want for these signs, and also what kind of greenery you want to put on it. And this is how it turned out. It was a nice, easy but pretty DIY. As I would round from Dollar Tree and have some half wooden beads, and I'm going to use some of the Dollar Tree vinyl, and it was a scrap piece. I just cut a strip for the middle, and then I'm using some of the Dollar Tree super glue wood glue to attach these wee half beads. And you can use any pattern vinyl that you wanted for this, and you could use bigger beads if you wanted to as well. I think these ones are 10mm. I think so. I will link them down below anyway. And then I stained everything with the Waverly Antique Wax. Notice that I didn't stick the vinyl down yet. I just had to measure where to put the beads. So I'm just going to stick the vinyl down now. And trying to make sure it's straight. And then I just cut off the excess on either side. And then I printed off the word welcome on my Cricut. So I'm just going to transfer that to the sign. And I'm just using Dollar Tree vinyl for this as well. And this vinyl works. No, this transfer tape works really well with the Dollar Tree vinyl, so I will link that down below as well. Just be careful when you're pulling it off. And then I'm going to dry brush this, I think it's blush pink, paint over the half beads just lightly, just to bring them out, because there's pink in the vinyl. You don't have to do this either if you don't want to. Finish that off camera. And then I just reattaching the same hanger that it came with, and I have these wee roses and greenery from Dollar Tree, so I'm just going to hot glue them to the top. And these are the wee pink ones. I love these roses. Next year, if they have them, I'm definitely going to pick up a lot of them. So you can just attach the greenery any way you like. And you don't have to use these roses if you don't want to, or if you can't find them. And this is how it turned out, and I just think that vinyl is so pretty. This is one of the boxes from Dollar Tree. Everything's from Dollar Tree, unless I say it's from somewhere else. All the beads are from Amazon. But you can get beads like this in Dollar Tree as well. So I'm just gluing on 4 beads to the bottom to make feet. And then I have these stickers from Dollar Tree. And I really love these ones. I think they're so pretty. So I'm just going to measure and cut them and stick one to each side of the box. And I only found this box once. I wish I'd picked up more. But yeah, you just have to cut around the rhinestones on either side. So then I decided to paint it with some ink Waverly chalk paint, only on the outside of the box, and then for the inside I'm staining it with some Waverly antique wax. So this is what it looks like. I also painted the stickers black. You could put them on before you paint it if you want to. I'm using some gold folk art chalk paint and just dry brushing the beads on the bottom of the tray, and then I'm going to dry brush the stickers. And yeah, that's why I didn't put them on first, in case I got the gold paint on the box and not just the stickers. Of course you can use whichever colours you like. See how pretty they are? So now I'm just going to stick them onto the sides of boxes. They are quite sticky, but if you want to use extra glue you can do that. I did have to pick off some little extra bits of paint. I'm just going to do that for each side. I will just show you me doing two, and then I will do the other two sides off camera. This is how it turned out, and I just love how this turned out. So you can use it as a planter, because I put some rocks and some succulents in there. You can use it to store jewellery and stuff, or crystals, whatever you want to put in it. This is a wee green box from Crafter's Square, and it has a unicorn in the front. Doesn't really matter what picture is on the front. And I'm just sanding off all the rough edges with a sanding block from Dollar Tree. Then I stained everything with some Waverly antique wax. And this is how it looks. And now I have some ivory Waverly chalk paint, and I am just going to dry brush it all over the box. Remember, if you don't like these colours, you can always choose your favourite colours or your favourite stain. Or you don't even have to stain at all. But I think this wood looks much better stained. So I dry brushed the inside as well. And you can put as much paint or as little paint on it as you want to do the dry brushing. I didn't bother doing the inside of this lid because I'm going to do something else with that. So once it's all dry, I just took a sanding block and sanded it all down. Just make sure you sand all the sides that you painted. And I have this tile sticker from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to measure out a square to fit inside this lid. And you want to make sure the pattern is all even on both sides. Like the circle part is going to be in the center. And then you just stick it inside. And they have different tile stickers, so you can choose whichever one you like best. Just make sure all the corners are stuck down. And then I just use some of the Dollar Tree super glue wood glue to glue the two pieces together. This is a 2-in-1 DIY, so you could have it as a wee tray, or you could put a candle on here. you can turn it around and make it into a wee planter. I just put some succulents in there. This is 3 of the wee inner parts of the drawers that you get at Dollar Tree. I used the outsides for another DIY. So I'm just going to glue on those half beads. I think they're 10mm with some Dollar Tree super glue wood glue. And I'm going to do the feet first, so I just put one in each corner on the bottom. And you can cover up the holes at the back if you want to, but I didn't bother because they're at the back and no one's going to see them. But if it bothers you, then just cover them up. So I'm just wiping off any excess glue with a wet paper towel. And now I am going to glue the rest of the beads on. And I'm going to do 2 triangles facing up the way, and then 1 triangle facing down the way. So just do your first line, and then in between those ones you do the second line, and then you keep going up until you get to just 1 bead on the line. And you could do different patterns with these. You could do a circle, or you could cover the whole thing in beads if you wanted to. So just keep going, and then you have 1 bead at the top. And I stained it with some Jacobean wood stain Vitamin wax. And then I just put some succulents in these, and I love how these turned out. I have these in my living room. I'm going to use these wooden rectangle planks from Dollar Tree, and I'm only going to use 3 of them because I'm going to cut 1 down. So I just marked it off with a pencil where to cut it, and then I cut it off camera. And then I am just gluing on some more half beads, and you can use whichever size you like, but I think these ones are like 12mm. I think so. 12 or 15. I can't remember, I'm sorry. Yeah, but you can just play around and see which ones will fit. So just glue them all the way along each side. I didn't do the back. Yeah, because no one's going to see the back. You can do the back if you want to. But now I am just attaching some of these wee square wood pieces from Dollar Tree. I'm just using hot glue for this, and that's so I can attach the sides, and just attach 2 on each corner so that I can make it into a box. Here I'm just going to put them on first so that I can attach it, and then I put on the other 2. I don't know what happened with that one. So this is all the pieces together. And now I'm putting an extra one on the bottom so that it has some wee feet. And then I stained everything with some Waverly Antique Wax. So I have these tile stickers from Dollar Tree and I love these ones, so I'm just going to stick them on, and I'm just going to leave a space in between each one. And I just do that for 3 of the sides, I don't do the back. You can use some extra glue if you want to, because they're quite sticky, but they're not going to stay forever. But just for the video, I'm just sticking them straight on. But yeah, if you want them to be more permanent, then put some extra glue on them. So once I have all the stickers stuck on, I cut a piece of cardboard. I'm just going to trace in the middle of this piece and then cut out the cardboard, and that's going to make the bottom of this planter. And then you can just fit it inside, and I just filled it with some greenery. But I love how this turned out. I love the wood with these tiles. This is one of the wooden frames with the blackboard inside it, and I am just taping off the wood frame with some masking tape, because I'm gonna paint the blackboard part, and I'm using some Waverly Plaster chalk paint, and then I'm going to use some Dollar Tree super glue wood glue. And I already started, so I'll just show you one side. I'm just gluing on these half beads. I also put one bead on the little hanger, and then have some wall stickers, and I'm just going to stick it right in the middle, and then I'm going to put the wee stickers in the corners, just like how it is on the sticker sheet. And I love this DIY, I think it's so pretty. You can stain the wood if you want to. Also, you could use the other, whichever colour sticker you want, stain the wood or paint the background to match. This is another wee blackboard with a wooden frame, and the blackboard part was moving around, so I just hot glued it in place. And then I have these stickers from Dollar Tree. So I'm just measuring where I need to cut them, and then I'm just going to cut them out. And you just have to cut around the rhinestones. And these are the zigzaggy ones. And then I'm just going to stick them down inside of the frame, just like how they are on the sheet. And Dollar Tree has plenty of rhinestone stickers. If you can't find these ones, there's the ones that look like wee flowers, or the ones I used earlier. You could use those ones for this. Now that they're all stuck down, I'm going to paint the middle with some Apple Paro Mountain Blue paint. I see it looks so nice once they're painted. And then I stained the frame with some early American wood stain. Probably should have done that first, but I did it after. And then I have some wood cutouts, and I stained it with the early American wood stain as well. And I was only going to put one of these on, but then I decided to put one that I hadn't stained on top of that. And this is how it turned out, and I just love that mountain blue paint. These 4-inch wood circles are on Amazon, and I'll link them down below. And I'm going to use 7 of them, and I stained them with some early American wood stain. And I have another wood round from Dollar Tree. I don't know why I'm upside down. And I painted that with some Mountain Blue apple barrel paint. And then I'm going to use some Dollar Tree super glue wood glue. And I'm just going to glue one circle in the middle and then the rest on the outside. Again, you can choose whichever colours you like the best. So I painted some of the half beads with the Mountain Blue paint, and then I'm just gluing one on each circle. And I have this silver welcome sign from Dollar Tree, so I just want to fill in the wee holes because it was supposed to be a hanging sign. I'm just filling them in with some hot glue and then scraping the excess before it dries with the popsicle stick, and then I painted it with Plaster chalk paint. And then I'm just going to use some hot glue to attach it to the sign. And then I already beaded up some beads that I stained and put on the hanger that it came with, and this is how it turned out. I have 3 of these wooden signs from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to take off the hangers. And these 2 ladders from Dollar Tree, I only ever found them once, but I know they still have them because I've seen other people with them. And I'm just taking off the greenery, the hangers, and then I'm going to take off the home piece on each of them. And then I'm just sanding off the glue, taking off the pieces of glue. No, I didn't bother taking off the pieces of glue. So I filled in the holes with this wood filler. And you could probably use the spackle from Dollar Tree. And then I started taking off the glue again. I'm just using this wee Cricut tool. I think actually this is one of the Dollar Tree ones, and I'm just scraping off the excess glue with that. And then I did it with the home signs as well, because I'm going to use that side on the DIY, so you need to get that glue off. And then I sanded them smooth with a sanding block from Dollar Tree. And then I painted them with some ink Waverly chalk paint. You can pick a different colour if you want to. And then I just sanded all the signs down and where I had added the wood filler. And then I stained it all with some Waverly antique wax. And then I'm going to use some Dollar Tree super glue wood glue to attach everything. So I'm just going to do the bottom shelf. I'm going to do some wood glue and some hot glue. And you can use the wooden shelves you can get from Dollar Tree, you know, the ones with the macrame cord. You could use them if you wanted it to be stronger and put heavier stuff on it. But I'm just going to put some wee trinkets and stuff on it, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to attach the wooden planks to the bottom, the middle and the top of these ladders. And this didn't want to stick. So I'm doing one side and then I'm going to do the next side, because I found that that was easier. And I also added some tumbling tower blocks underneath the shelves, and you can stain them first if you want to. I didn't know I was going to have to use them. So you can always, well, did I go back and stain them? I can't even remember, probably not. And then I just did the same thing with the next ladder. And this time I just put it on its side, and that made it easier, since the other side was already attached. And then I just hot glued the tower blocks onto it. In a hard place, do I work hard or live at my pace? You're only young once, yeah, that's all great, but I also want a future where I'm okay. Living life is doing lots of cocaine. Wait, no, it's living with no shame. Wait, no, it's sleeping in on Sundays. I guess it's different for each of us, and that's okay. Well, I just want to be happy. How to get there? Glad that you asked me. I think it's different for everyone. Some of us need work, others need fun. Some of us need purpose to overcome, but try to do what you love when it's said and done, because there's so many differences. And now I am just hot gluing all sides back on to either side. I mean, this is it. I just stuck a bunch of trinkets and succulents and stuff on it, and yeah, I think it turned out really nice. This is one of the smaller planks than you've seen in the last DIY, and then one of the drawer inserts, and I'm just using some of this Dollar Tree super glue wood glue to glue it together, and then I stained it with some worn navy paint stain and then I painted some beads with some mountain blue paint from Walmart, and I just put them on the beads on a skewer. If I don't have too many, I just put them on the skewer and then paint them, and I'm just threading them on some twine. Okay, I decided to thread the twine on first, and then I put the beads on, and then I just put it through and tied it at the back. Again, you can use any colours you like. So I found these stars on Cricut Cricut Design Space, and I'm just going to transfer them to the sign. And you don't have to use stars, and also if you don't have a Cricut, you could use stickers from Dollar Tree or Stenciled. Or you could just paint some stars, it's up to you. And then I have a Home Sweet Home that I found on Cricut Design Space that had some wee stars on it. So I am just going to attach that to the front of the box. And then I just filled it with some Spanish moss and a succulent, and I think it turned out really cute. And this is one of the wee kiddies puzzle pieces from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to glue the pieces in with some Dollar Tree super glue wood glue. And I picked this because it's made of wood. You see it's wood on this side, and then I stained it with some of the Worn Navy wood stain by Varathane, and I printed off the word welcome, and then I found a boho sun, so I'm just going to transfer them onto the front of this sign. And you can paint the back if you want. I can't remember if I painted it or not. But I thought this boho sun was so pretty, so I wanted to use it for this. So I'm just going to transfer that now. And I'm just using the Dollar Tree vinyl. And then I have some greenery from Dollar Tree and these blue flowers, so I'm just going to arrange them and then hot glue them in place. And then I painted some beads with the Mountain Blue apple barrel paint. And then I'm just hot gluing one side of the twine. I say I didn't paint it. You guys can paint it. Or finish it off. Yeah, then I just threaded on the beads. And what I did with these is I painted the paint on them and then I rubbed it right off so that you could see the wood through it. And then I am just attaching it to the sign with some hot glue and a popsicle stick. And then I tied knots at the end of the twine, and then I trimmed it off. And this is how it turned out. And I love that boho sun. I think I have to make something else with that now. I'm going to paint this wee wooden tray from Dollar Tree with some Plaster Waverly chalk paint. You see, I didn't paint the inside because you're not going to see it. And then I have some of this Nautical rope, so I'm just going to thread through one side and then tie a knot in it. But I'm going to make sure it's long enough to come out the bottom as well. And then I did the same for the other side, because that's going to be the hanger. And yeah, just adjust it to whatever length you want the hanger to be, and then thread it through the bottom of the tray. And I hot glued these knots in place. And then at the bottom I just tied it in a knot. And yeah, you might have to do it a couple times to get it how you want it. So I did that, and then I trimmed off how long I wanted my tassel to be, and then I just unraveled the rope, and then I hot glued the knot in place, so I don't want to move it around, or it to move around in that space. And you could just leave the tassel like this if you wanted to, but I decided I wanted to brush it out with this wee dog brush that I got from Dollar Tree. So just keep unraveling it and then brushing it until it looks how you want it to look. And then when you're happy with it, you can just trim it down. And then I have these wall stickers from Dollar Tree, so I'm just going to stick 4 of them going up the middle of this piece. And that's it. And I think it turned out really cute. I have another one of these wee trays, and I'm going to stain it with some Waverly Antique Wax, but I'm going to paint the inside with some Waverly Plaster chalk paint, and also I'm going to paint the beads with the chalk paint. The plaster chalk paint. So I'm just gonna thread the beads on some twine, and that's gonna make the hanger. And you can make this any colours that you want. You don't have to use these colours. So I wanted it to come to either side of the box, so I'm just going to tie it where the handles are. So I just tie a couple of knots and then I just snip off the excess. Am I really doing a knot here? Yeah, you can just undo it and make sure it sits how you want it to sit. And then I burnt off all the way here so the lighter. Just be careful when you're doing this. And then I just put some hot glue on it just to make sure the knots don't come apart. And then I think these wee pots were from Michael's. But anyway, I filled them with some succulents and then just put them inside. And this is it. It's just a cute, simple DIY. So I have one of the welcome signs, and I'm going to take the hanger out, and I'm going to cover the hole with a half bead, and then I'm going to glue some more half beads all around the outside with the Dollar Tree Super Glue Wood Glue. And you could use as many or as little beads as you like. I just spaced them out about an inch all the way around. And then I have some bigger beads, and they are going to be the feet. And I just hot glued them, one in the middle, and then you should make sure that your feet are in line with the beads that you attached to the other side, because mine isn't. And then I stained it with some Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm just going to paint the welcome sign with this. I can't even see what paint it is. I think it was Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon, I think it was. No, Pool. I can't remember. Anyway, this is how it turned out. You can see my bead on the bottom is just a little bit off. And I just made it into a cute wee tray. So I'm just taking the hanger out of another one of these Dollar Tree wood rounds, and I have some more of these zigzag stickers, and these ones are multicolored, and I'm just using the ruler to try and make sure that I put them on straight. So you see, do that for the first one, and then just keep adding the stickers. And all you need to do at the end is any that are hanging off, just trim them off with some scissors, because you want to make it go right to the edge, and then you can always stick fill any gaps with the pieces of sticker that you cut off. So I just do that for all the rows. And then any spaces you see around the side, I just filled them in with the extra pieces of sticker. And I was only going to do a few rows, but then I decided to do some extra rows. And then just patch it up, and it doesn't really matter because you are going to cover it with some paint, so it doesn't matter if you don't put the right colours unless you wanted to keep it looking like this. So yeah, just keep patching up all the sides until you are happy with how it looks. And then I taped it off with some painter's tape, and then I painted it with some ink Waverly chalk paint, and it looks so nice once it's painted. And I got some black paint on the other side, so now I'm just going to paint the other side of this and just taping it off. And then I'm using the Pool Waverly chalk paint. So it wasn't perfect on the line, so I'm just going to use some of this ribbon from Dollar Tree. It's the one that comes in the pack of 3, and I'm just going to hot glue that along the line. And then on the back. And I'm just going to add some beads onto the hanger that it came with, and then reattach that. You can colour the beads if you want to. You can use any colours you want for this. You don't have to do black and blue. So I printed off a geometric design on my Cricut, and I made it into a stencil. I'm just making sure it's in the right position before I transfer the vinyl. And I'm just using the Dollar Tree vinyl again. And it's had a lot of wee fiddly bits. But you just take your time, and then it'll come off nice. And then I make sure that all the pieces are stuck down properly. And then I'm using the same ink chalk paint to fill in the stencil, and I am just going to dab the paint on with a makeup sponge from Dollar Tree. And just going to dab it all over. And when it's still wet, I took off the vinyl and then I gave it a quick blast with a hairdryer so that I could weed it without making a mess of the design. And then I just started weeding out the wee pieces. And I won't show you me doing the whole thing, but you can see it's a flower, and this is how it turned out. I'm just sanding down one of these square wooden pieces from Dollar Tree, and I have some of these rhinestone stickers. These are ones that look like a wee flower, and I'm just going to attach it all around the outside of this square, and you can match it up good because all you need to do is cut out one rhinestone and then the sticker fits into the others, well, the one that's already there. And then I painted it all with some Waverly Ivory chalk paint, and then I printed off these spring flowers on my Cricut, and I'm making another stencil. So I'm just going to attach that on the inside. And then I'm using this Lavender Waverly chalk paint, and just going to use a makeup sponge and dab it on the design. And I think this colour is really pretty. I have to think of more things to do with it, or to make with it. So I'm just doing the same thing as I did for the last DIY. And I just take the vinyl off while it's still wet. And then I had to touch up a wee bit. Anyway, I won't show you me reading all of it. I'll just show you me doing some of it. So it's a cute flower design. And this is how it looks. And then I have some tumbling tower blocks. You can paint them if you want. I'm just going to glue two to the back at an angle, and then I'm going to glue another one on top so that this sits at an angle, and then reinforce it with some hot glue. And this is how it turned out. This is just a wee crate from Dollar Tree, and I'm using those same stickers, and I'm just going to attach them to the front of this crate. I'm just going to do 3 rows, and you've seen Ethan play in there. He likes to come in the craft room and play with all the stuff. Sometimes he crafts, but most of the time he just plays. And then I stained it with, I didn't stain it, I painted it with the ivory chalk paint, and then I just filled it with some pretty flowers, and that was it. I stained this wooden plank with some Waverly antique wax. And I am just taping off where I want to paint it. And then I use the Waverly chalk paint in Plaster. And I'm just tying some twine, and then I'm just going to wrap it around just until I like how it looks. And then I tied it at the back. And then I burnt off all the hairs with a lighter. And then I made a hanger. I just burnt the hairs off first. And I was just deciding how many beads to use. And then I have these wooden cutouts from Dollar Tree. So I painted them with this moss coloured chalk paint. And I'm just gonna make the hanger now. I'm just using hot glue. And this piece is not heavy, so I didn't use the popsicle stick. And then I just threaded the beads on. And then I attached the hanger at the other side. Sometimes it has hairs you gotta snip off. And then I just attached the leaf on the front. And this is how it turned out. I have some of the square planks and the rectangle planks. And I stained them all with the Waverly Antique Wax. Okay, 1 square and 4 planks. And I'm just using some painter's tape to tape off where I want to paint. And then I'm using some plaster chalk paint to paint inside it. And then just blasted it with a hairdryer. And then I gave it another coat of paint. And I blasted it with a hairdryer again. And then I put some more tape on. So, well, I measured it where I wanted it to be. And then I put the tape on so I can make a cross pattern on it. And then I just painted it again. So now that that is painted, I have some of these tiles from Dollar Tree and I'm just putting a wee bit of hot glue on them and spacing them out inside the white cross. And these are the ones that look a bit like native with the wee feathers and stuff like that. They're really pretty. So after I put them all in place, I realised that I needed to make my line of my cross a bit bigger, so I just put some more masking tape down and then just filled in and just made it a bit wider so it matched the top part. And then now I'm just going to assemble it, and I'm using some tower blocks. So I am just hot gluing them and putting them in the corners of this piece. And then I'm going to hot glue the front on, and then the back I am going to do the same thing to this side. And then I stick the last piece on, and you can of course use wood glue for this. And then I just attached it to the square piece on the bottom, and this is how it turned out. See how pretty those stickers are. I have 2 of the smaller wood signs, and I have 3 sets of 4 tower blocks. And I am using the Dollar Tree Super Glue wood glue just to glue those tower blocks together. And those are going to make the wee shelves. I also have some note cards from Dollar Tree and 2 different patterns. So for this one, I am sticking the shelf on the bottom and then putting the note card on. Then I'm sticking the next shelf on, just so I know where to place it. And for this shelf, I'm just going to put it on the bottom. So I'm giving you 2 options. And then I stained it with the Waverly Antique Wax along with a few beads. And then I have these wee pots that came with succulents in them from Dollar Tree. So one I'm going to colour gold and the other with the plaster chalk paint. And then I'm going to use the ink chalk paint to paint the black part at the top. You see where some of the black has come off, and you can see the styrofoam. So I'm just cutting these down, and then I have some spray adhesive. I'm just going to spray the back of these and then stick them down. You can use whichever glue you like. I thought I would try this. And then I did the same thing for the other 2 cards. You can trim them down first if you want to, but I didn't, obviously. And then I had to put it, you can't see, sorry, I had to put it to the edge of the table so that I could cut it with the X-Acto knife. Because I wanted a really straight edge, but you could just cut it with scissors. And then I didn't think about it, but that's not going to work for the one with 2 shelves. So anyway, I cut them off camera, and now I'm just attaching the hanger. I just tied a knot at one end, threaded the beads on, and then tied a knot on the other side. And then I just hot glued the knots. And this is my 2 shelves. And here I'm just adding some flowers and greenery to the plaster coloured one. And then I added succulents to the other one. Here I have 4 of the Dollar Tree wooden snakes, and I am just cutting the heads off with the Swiss saw, and I will link it down below. And I'm just cutting it right where the base of the head is. I also cut the tails off, and I just cut it right at the end there. They came off easy. And then I'm using some Dollar Tree Super Glue wood glue, and I'm gluing a bead onto either end of each snake. And I just wanted to make the ends look more finished, so that's why I stuck the beads on. So I'm just doing that for all of them, and just doing it with the wood glue. I have 5 packs of the larger paint sticks you can get from Lowe's and Home Depot, and I am just gluing each pack together, like 3 together, and then I'm going to trim it down, but I had to get my boyfriend to trim it. I saw it because it was kind of hard, so I don't know if you want to saw them first. But anyway, I put the bottles on it to help it stick together, and then I cut it at 14, the last number. And then I have this Take Me to Paradise sign. I painted it both sides with some ink Waverly chalk paint, and now I'm just going to put all my pieces in place, and the sign and the snakes and where to cut the paint sticks were all the right length. It worked out good, so I'm just going to attach it with some wood glue. And just put a wee bit extra on the snakes, and then on the sides of the paint sticks. Just try not to get any glue seeping out the snakes, because I'm going to stain this and the stain doesn't cover the glue. And then I put my last piece on, and just make sure everything is straight. And then I turn it over and I put some half beads on the bottom to make feet. And then I decided to put some extra beads on the front of it, so I'm just doing one at either end of the paint sticks. And I thought this would make it look more finished. And then I stained it with some early American wood stain, and this is how it turned out, and I love how it turned out. Have one of the wee wooden trays from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to glue some beads on the bottom to make feet. And I'm using the Dollar Tree Super Glue wood glue as always. And if you're going to use wood glue for the feet, make sure that they dry properly before you do anything else. And I stained it with the Waverly Antique Wax, and then this green tartan fabric is from Dollar Tree, and it's so pretty in person. So I'm just measuring where I want to cut it, and then I just cut it out with some fabric scissors. It helps that it has lines on it. So that is for the inside, and now I'm just gonna measure and cut out the side pieces, and I'm just gonna do the front and the back. See, I didn't wait for my glue to dry on my bead. So make sure you do that. But sometimes when you're filming, you just want to get the stuff done. So I'm going to use some Mod Podge to stick the fabric on. So I just paint on a layer of it and then stick the fabric down. You can Mod Podge over the fabric as well if you want to. I'm just cutting out where the feet are because I wanted to fold it under. So I'm just trimming off the ends, any frayed bits, and then I do the same to the other side. And then I just do the same on the inside. And then I just trim off any excess fabric. And here is some metal ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I am just going to hot glue that on after I measure it. And I was going to put it all the way around, but then I just decided just to do the front. So I just trim it down with some scissors, and now I'm going to hot glue it on. And it actually sticks on because you're sticking it to fabric. And because it's metal, the hot glue dries really fast, so I just do it in sections. And try not to put too much because you don't want it to squish at the sides. And you can easily just pick off any bits that do squish out. And this is how it turned out, and I think it turned out really cute. I have another of these wooden square pieces from Dollar Tree, and I am staining it with some Waverly Antique Wax. I was just measuring how big a square I was going to need of this Dollar Tree vinyl, and I was trying to get the square as straight as possible. And then I just use an X-Acto knife to cut it out so it has a nice straight edge. And then I just stick it down in the middle of the square. And I have these wee mini clothes pegs, so I'm just going to hot glue one to the middle of the vinyl, and then I have some florals, and I'm just going to hot glue them in place. I was trying to decide between these ones and the pink ones, so yeah, just yeah, I was trying to figure it out. Okay, so this is what I decided on. Or is it? I don't know. Yeah, this is what I decided on, doing the pink ones. And then I'm going to make the stand for the back with some tower blocks and make sure it's at an angle. And then I decided to add some nautical rope. So I'm going to start where the flowers are so that you can't see the join. And I just hot glued the end. And then I just start hot gluing it around the outside of this square. I just thought it would look more finished if I added the nautical rope. And then I just burnt off all the wee hairs with a lighter. And just be careful doing this. You can stain the back as well if you want. I need to start doing these things. I decided to add another tower block since I added the nautical rope. And that's me and my son 7 years ago. He was 14. And that was when we were back in Scotland. But yeah, it's just a wee cute photo frame. I have a pack of these wood planks, the rectangle ones. Comes in a pack of 6. So I'm just going to take them out. And then I am going to cover them with this pretty Dollar Tree vinyl. Because I had plenty left, so obviously I've got to use it up. So I just measure and cut it with an X-Acto knife. And I make it a bit bigger than the rectangles so that I can fold it over. And then I just used that piece to measure for the other pieces. And then that part that's at the side, that was what I used in the wood the wood round DIY earlier. That's where it came from. And then I just stick the wood onto it, cut a wee square on each corner. And then I just fold it over. I do that for all of them. I have this Inspire sign, and I'm going to use some Dollar Tree Fix-All and some hot glue to attach one of these to each side, and they fit perfect as well. They were the perfect size. So I just do that all the way around. And here I wanted to reinforce it, so I have some skewers and I'm just going to cut them down. I'm going to hot glue them and put them in place, glue them in place on the inside. Off camera I made a wee bow with some lace that I had, and I just hot glued that onto the front, and this is how it turned out. I just filled it with some florals. You can add more stuff to it if you wanted to, but I want to keep it simple. So I have this wooden cross and I'm painting it with some white Waverly chalk paint. And then I'm gonna paint around the raised frame part with some black ink Waverly chalk paint, and then I go over it with some silver, and I mixed them up. I mixed the two of them together and then I did it. I made this a while ago. And then I have some more of these tiles. These are the black and silver ones, and I'm just spacing them out so that they can fit inside the cross, and you can glue them in with some hot glue or something if you want to. I didn't, and they're still stuck there. They didn't fall off, so this is how it turned out. I have another wooden tray from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cover up the star cut out on the side with a popsicle stick, no, craft stick, the fatter ones. And I'm going to glue it on with some wood glue. I do the same for both sides. And then I stained it with the Jacobean wood stain by Minwax, and this is how it looks. And then I have all these stickers from Dollar Tree, and I love these ones. They look like medieval. So I just decided to stick them on the front like this, and on the back. And then I have some wood cutouts, so I'm going to stick the rose on. I ended up having to hot glue these. I don't know if the stain was completely dry because I'm impatient. And so yeah, just use hot glue. And then I have these rose cutouts, and I'm just going to glue them over the star hole on either side. And I didn't bother staining them or anything. Of course you could choose a different colour stain in that if you want to. And I have some nautical rope, and I'm just going to make a couple of handles with it. So I'm just measuring how big I want it to be, then I'm taping it off and then cutting it, then putting some hot glue on it so it doesn't fray, and making sure they are the same length, and then just doing the same thing over again, and then I'll be able to glue them inside the box. I just used hot glue again for this. I just did it either side of those craft sticks that I put in there. I decided to add more stickers. And then I decided to paint the roses on the ends. And I think I just used gold paint for that. It looks like gold paint. When I'm doing the voiceover, the video is just a wee rectangle, it's not a full screen. So that's why sometimes I can't see what I've done. And this is how it turned out. I love it, I love all medieval stuff and it reminds me of that. So I have a wee square from Dollar Tree, and I stained it with a Jacobean wood stain, and then I have this flower cut out and I'm just going to paint it gold. And then I have more of these stickers, so I'm just hot gluing them onto this piece. I'm using these wee corner pieces. And then I'm going to hot glue the flower in the center. And then I'm just going to hot glue some tower blocks so I can make it into a stand. Okay, I just did one tower block. I just glue that at an angle. I decided to add another sticker on the front of the flower. I have a larger square now and I'm staining it with a Jacobean wood stain. And I'm using up the rest of these stickers. So I'm just going to hot glue them on. I'm going to have them all facing the same way. Going round the square like this. And then I just add in a couple more, well, 4 more of the stickers to fill up those gaps and to use up the stickers. So I printed off an E in like an old English style font because Ethan said he wanted this DIY. So I had to make it an E, but he said that it's not an E, it's a boat. I said it is an E, it's just a fancy one. So I mixed up some paint because I was trying to make it a more bronzy colour, mixed gold and I can't remember, gold and black or golden brown. So I made it into a stencil and then yeah, mixed gold and black, and then I'm just dabbing it on with a makeup sponge. And when it's still wet, I just take the vinyl off and then start weeding it. But then I decided just to give it a quick blast with a hairdryer, just a couple of seconds, and then I weeded the rest of it. Oh, I decided to change my flower on this and on the rose to make them all the same. Okay, now I'm just making a stand with the tower blocks. And this is how it turned out. So I'm going to stain this wooden piece with some Jacobean wood stain. And this is me using up the rest of these stickers. But it's giving you different ideas for what you can do with them. Because this is going to be a planter. So I just hot glue them all around on each side. You could always use the other stickers in the pack to make the planter if you want to. But this is me just using up the ones that were left. I think in the end all I had left was that wee flower one you can see in at the side there. So once they're all stuck down, this is what it looks like. I just filled it with some greenery. I have this old looking map sticker, wall sticker from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to stick it down to some foam board. And I tried to match it up as best I could. So once I had stuck that down, I then cut it out with an X-Acto knife. And I have these wee square wooden pieces from Dollar Tree. So I'm just putting them all the way around the frame because they're not all the same size. And I need to make sure that they will fit. And then I glued them all together with some Dollar Tree super glue wood glue, because I need them to stay together so they will fit back properly after I stain them. And then I stained them with some Jacobean wood stain. And here I am just going to glue them on the sides. I think one was a wee bit too long. Yeah, so I had to trim it down. And you can't notice once it's up. So there, I fit them back together again, and then I just hot glue them to the side. You can't see, but I'm just hot gluing it onto the top. And then I do the sides and the ends. Well, the ends that is going to be touching the other square pieces. And then just do the next side. And then I make a hanger for the back with some hot glue, twine and a popsicle stick. And this is how it turned out. And I just love how this looks, how it looks old and with the Jacobean wood stain. Have this llama box and I am just sanding it down, all the rough parts off of it. And it doesn't matter what picture is on the front of the box because I'm going to cover it up. I stained it all with some Waverly Antique Wax. And then I have the ribbon from Dollar Tree, so I am just attaching that along the sides of the lid. I'm tired, this is a long voiceover. And I just used up some scrap pieces of ribbon that I had for this. And then I am going to glue a succulent in the middle. And then I have some other greenery and I'm just going to hot glue that, sticking out the succulent. Well, sticking out from behind it. And I just trimmed it down and then hot glued it all in place. And I just kept filling it up until I was happy with how it looked. And this is how it turned out. So I have this mirror from Dollar Tree. And I am just taking the back off and the mirror out. And then I'm going to paint it with some ivory chalk paint. Then I have 6 plungers. Well, just the wooden part. And I'm just making sure that they're all going to be the same length. and they're not because it's from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to cut down and make them all the same length. And not gonna lie, these are kind of hard to saw through with this wee saw. Some of them were easy and some of them were hard. So I just did that for all of them. This one was hard to cut. And have this other piece, wood piece from Dollar Tree. So now I am going to stain everything with some Waverly Antique Wax. And this is how it all looks. And I have this summer hat from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to take it apart, take the bow off. And then it has like a clear thread running through it, so you just have to pull that out. And then it all comes apart really easily. Once you have unraveled it all, then you can start hot gluing it onto the plunger sticks. So I just hot glue the first couple ones and then you can just wrap it around tightly. And you can glue it in more places if you want to, but it doesn't really need it. I just do that all the way up. And I can't remember if it was one hat that covered all these or if I needed two hats. Sorry. I don't know if we'll find out in this clip. And then I just hot glued it at the top again. And then trimmed it off. And then I'm going to use some of the Dollar Tree Cebulla wood glue to glue one in each corner of this wooden piece. I'm using some wood glue and hot glue. And this was kind of not so easy to put together because the stick, oh my god. Thank god this is the last DIY. I forgot what they're called. Oh my god. Plunger sticks. There we go. They had to go at an angle because the bottom piece is larger. Okay, now I'm using some gem tack glue. Because I didn't want to use the wood glue, so I tried this. And I just turned it over, and because it wasn't dry on the top properly, I was able to stick them to the corners, and then I used some hot glue as well. And then you just have to hold them in place. And it was fiddly. Yeah, but just keep holding them until the hot glue sets, and then it's fine. So I have another one of these Inspire signs. I painted it with some ivory chalk paint, and then with the Waverly Antique Wax. And I put that in the middle at the bottom. And I also put some extra nautical rope around the top and the bottom. I didn't show that. But this is how it turned out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!